Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real Podcast. We, as you can see, are on video today. We are zooming across from everybody, even though Dad and I are in the booth right now. But everybody else is, as what you say, social distancing this week.
Remote locations.
Remote locations. And the reason for that is because, unfortunately, in our household, there is a couple of cases, and not a couple of cases, just Corona stuff that we all want.
You had a scare, and then
you had a scare.
Someone that's tested.
Yes. So as you can see, as always, I'm your host, Joe. We got Dad across, on video. Me and Dad are both in the booth. We got Big Roadblock in the corner over here. And then we got
Ryu West in the cut.
We got Ryu West up there too. So this week, gentlemen, we had a little confusion with the
lot of confusion.
A lot of confusion.
Yeah, let me take that. As the active producer on this, with all the shit going on this week with running for testing and all this other shit, I just couldn't get there. My heart really wasn't in it, and I don't want to let anybody down, but it was just like this whole.
I respect the honesty.
2 days, this whole 2 days has been like.
Yeah, it's like the last 3.
This is something you're right. You're hearing about it on TV, you're watching it, you're paying attention to it. But when it hits your own immediate family,
it's a roller coaster.
Devastating because, to me, as the father of this clan, it was like, you try to protect your kids and your wife the best you can. And it just like, there was, the range of emotions went like, fuck this. I just don't want to deal with this bullshit anymore. Somebody help us, and then Joey came to me earlier today and he goes, Dad, we need a topic for tonight. We got to get the show out. And, we were going to do the, I believe it was the scientists across the world that are basically being slaughtered, and we're going to make that topic happen next month.
Area 51 was
everybody
another
on
one
this
too.
Podcast. Yeah, we're going to do Area 51. I believe we're going to push that back until after the holidays. We're going to rework the whole schedule, and I'm going to give a revised schedule that goes right to the end of the year. Anyway, I apologize for that, but JFK is a pretty interesting topic, and this could segue ourselves into next week, our live show. By that time, we'll all be cleared. Everybody be happy. We'll get back as a family that we are and get this shit together live in this fucking booth. It's nice on video, but I'd rather have you guys here with us.
Yeah.
It works.
So basically, so this week, to segue into JFK week, which is going to be a big episode for us because it's going to be everybody here. We're going to have, just like what we did with the Halloween episodes, it's going to be a lot of people.
It's a long topic too.
It's going to be, it's going to be a long episode. But so for this week, what I decided with Dad when I called him before, because basically what it was with the dead scientists is that you sit there, it's a big topic, dead scientists. You have to actually sit there and, if you want to choose.
It goes back so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How long these scientists have been getting killed for, and like which ones, what I'm saying? Like it's a bit, like you said, it's just a very big topic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to sit there.
Where do we even begin? Where do we even begin with that?
Yeah. So.
Well, there's a lot that we'll go over that. We're gonna have a production meeting sometime this weekend, I hope. Yeah. And we'll go over it. I want to go over the other topics that we're going to do. And then, just go from there. So, anyway, who wants to kick
Robert
this
F. Kennedy.
Yeah. So this week, we are going to segue into JFK week with Robert F. Kennedy. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, of course, everybody knows is John's brother. And he was...
I didn't know that. I was going to ask, what is he, like an uncle or something? You know how many Kennedys you would know there are?
Yeah. No, Robert Kennedy is John's brother. And Robert
was
Kennedy,
he older?
No, younger.
He was John was actually the second oldest. Joseph was the first one, but he got killed in a war. And then John became the oldest, became the president. And then, there was Robert. And then after Robert was Teddy, who just passed away a couple years ago. He was a senator from Massachusetts. But Robert was the third child of the Kennedys. Male child.
He was also the attorney general to
under JFK.
Yeah, under John. So the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy is something that there's a lot of people that sit there and talk about it. Of course, it's not as covered as John's assassination.
Yeah, because he wasn't. Because he doesn't get that light because he wasn't the president.
It's not even that. With John's, as we'll go into next week, or the weeks coming, John's is more. There's a lot of debate and a lot of conspiracy theories with that compared to Roberts. It's not really. There's not as many conspiracy theories with it.
Well, there's a reason for that because again, with John, there's a lot of people involved. You had a lot of people that were, as far as had motive, why they wanted to kill him. With Robert, again, we're going to go back to one guy, and he he clearly shot him in the Ambassador Hotel.
Yeah.
But was there another?
Where does that? It happened in South Carolina, right?
No, Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was Los Angeles, the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles.
LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that hotel, I believe, is still there. He was leaving through the kitchen with an ex-football player at the time. Well, at the time he was a football player, Rosie Greer, big black guy, really nice man. And he was he was acting as RFK's bodyguard at the time. And what was going on was they had just finished a rally.
Some convention, if I remember reading, right?
Yeah, he was going on. They were going to a convention. He was doing a rally, a pre-convention rally, and he was going through the corridor of the hotel. And of course, the shots rang out, and they took him out. And then Rosie Greer grabbed the gun before any more shots could be fired, and literally broke Sirhan's thumb in the gun. And he, now Rosie Greer, if you ever saw Rosie Greer, the man was huge. He was a walking mountain. He was, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", 380 pounds, muscle. He was a football player.
So how did he get shot? He got shot in the corridor trying to get out of the hotel.
He was leaving through the kitchen, and that was the easiest way to get to the back of the hotel. And as soon as he arrived from the corridor into the kitchen, people were surrounding him. And of course, how did this guy get in there? Nowadays you can't get near the president. Rightfully so. You can't get near.
More or less like a president's sibling.
Right now, how again?
Robert was a presidential candidate, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he was actually running. He was not. He was just about to be nominated.
Okay.
Through the Democratic Party, and that all when he didn't win, when he got shot, Hubert Humphrey took over and went the rest of the way, and that went into another whole.
Yeah.
Because Kennedy's last words, on to Chicago, meaning the Chicago Convention, where he would have accepted the nomination to be, running against Nixon that year.
Now, was Robert also, not Robert, John was also a Democrat, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Or he wasn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
John was a Democrat.
Yeah, they all ran with the Democratic Party.
Okay.
But yeah, the 1968 when that assassination happened, 68 was the craziest year, almost on record, besides 2020 so far.
Short of the pandemic, 68 was a milestone for our country because in that year, like I said earlier, you had riots, you had the Chicago Convention, there was riots,
political assassination.
You had RFK, you had Malcolm X,
MLK.
You had Martin Luther King, and you put, even if one of these guys lost their lives, they were such phenomenal figures, in the world of either pop culture or Americana, that would have been enough. But you lump all of these in together, and then you have. It was just an absolute. You had Vietnam going on at the time. It was just. I
was gonna say, you think. I just thought of something. Do you think that they killed him? Do you think they killed Robert Kennedy because they knew that he was probably going to stop the war back then too?
Well, that's a good theory to have because basically his brother told them it's their war. They got to win it or lose it. We're not going to send our troops. You know,
I'm reading a couple things right here about theories in general. This one says CIA involvement theory. It's in November 2006, the BBC's Newsnight program presented research by filmmaker Shane O'Sullivan, alleging that the CIA officers were present on the night of the assassination. 3 men who appear in films and photographs from the night of the assassination were positively identified by former colleagues and associates as former senior CIA officers who had worked together in 1963 at JMWAVE.
And what would that be?
Jim Wave. Jim Wave was the code name for a secret United States covert operation and intelligence gathering station operated by the CIA from 61 to 68. It was headquartered in Building 25 at the former Richmond Naval Air Station, an airship based about 12 miles south of the main campus of the University of Miami.
Right.
Wasn't that one of those things that I think what was it? Oh wait, I don't know if I got my time right, but it wasn't Nixon that started one of those things like that.
Well, Nixon, yeah, you're right, and Nixon started that back in the 50s when he was a vice president under again, I can never get this guy's name. Why do I keep forgetting his name?
Eisenhower.
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 You know, and he started covert crews all over the place, and a lot of people to this day still believe that the people that he set in motion in the 50s were the actual hit team of John Kennedy. And a lot of people think that it's a smoke screen with everybody remembers Watergate. I'm sure he's heard about Watergate, right?
I've heard the term. Okay. I've heard the term.
In 1973, the Republican operatives broke into the Watergate Hotel and the Democratic offices of the Watergate Hotel to try to find dirt on to find dirt on the Democrats. A lot of people think that Nixon had sent them in there in the 73 to find all the information that they might have had about this hit team.
I am not a crook.
And if these guys were actually involved in the Kennedy assassination. Now, again, that's a theory. It's not proven. No one can say that for sure, but it's a little suspicious, you know?
Yeah, because it's not like, okay, yeah, it may be like secret government missions and shit like that, but it's like, I feel like that's one of those like secret government missions that would just be conspired verbally, and you would just have like your select details on something that would just probably be erased. There's going to be no paperwork whatsoever, so it's not going to be something that you can like, okay, here's the proof, here's the document, here's so and so that signed the action into this. You know what I mean? Like that's all stuff that we're not gonna see that. Or if we do, it's gonna be like how we play Black Ops. It's all gonna be blacked out and shit.
I was just about to say that even if you could, it would be redacted material, or it would just be blacked out completely.
Listen to my boy Josh with the redacted. I love that.
Well,
he's not only a pretty face. The man knows his shit.
Pretty face, man. No beard.
Oh my god.
Dad. So tell me if these names are familiar. So these are everything that happens in the 60s. There's always some anti-Castro station.
Okay.
So basically, that Jim Wave was the CIA's main anti-Castro station based in Miami.
I've never heard of it.
They were Jim Wave Chief of Operations David Morales, Chief of Maritime Operations Gordon Campbell.
Wait, go back to the Morales. What was his first name?
David
Morales. Nope, can't say I'd ring a bell.
Chief of Maritime Operations Gordon Campbell.
I heard of Gordon Campbell.
And Chief of fuck you. And Chief of Psychological Warfare Operations George Joanides. I guess.
No, never.
It says, remember, this is still the CIA involvement theory. It says, however, several people who had known Morales, including family members, were adamant that he was not the man who O'Sullivan said was Morales. After O'Sullivan published his book, Assassination Researchers Jefferson Morley and David Talbot also discovered that Campbell had died of a heart attack in 1962, 6 years prior to the assassination of Kennedy. In response, O'Sullivan stated that the man on the video may have used Campbell's name as an alias. He then took his identifications to the LAPD, whose files showed the men he identified as Campbell and Joanides to be Michael Roman and Frank Owens, two Belova sales managers attending the company's convention in the Ambassador. O'Sullivan stood by his allegations, stating that Belova Watch Company was also a well-known CIA cover.
That's news to me. See, again, this is stuff that's just starting to come out now. You know, you're starting to get all this stuff that could be possible.
Doesn't after a certain amount of time, what is it, 25 years, certain files get declassified and stuff like that?
No, declassification only comes at the request of the president, or at the request through a congressional order. In other words, there's no sunsetting on them. And by sunsetting, I mean after a certain time, it's okay.
It's just gonna be like Jackie's book. It's for her. It's when her last child dies, I think.
Well, that's her provision. That's not that's something like he's referring to Jackie Onassis. She wrote a book that's really sitting in a vault somewhere, and she told everybody that upon her last child's death, that's when she wants this book to be published. And everybody's waiting around like, what's in this book? She supposedly names names, or maybe it's just her opinion. I don't know. No one knows.
I mean, who knows? Because if she's over here saying that, like, oh, I'm gonna wait till my last child dies, like, who knows what she wrote in that book, right? Where it's just gonna come to the point where it's just like, yo, she knows that people are gonna come hunting for her.
Well,
it's not even that too, though. If you're looking at it, who's gonna know more stuff than the person who was sitting next to John in that car? Like, she knows. She never said anything about her experience there, right? She never talked about sitting in that car.
She never did. She never was going to, because, again, when you open your mouth about the Kennedy assassination, I know this is now we're into John, but it's so hard to keep the two separate.
Yeah.
When you are into John, when you're into the John Kennedy thing, you got two different camps here. You have the people that believe anything, or you have the people that will you have three. You have people that'll say to you, they'll look at every theory and say, well, it's plausible, I do believe blah 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 blah. But you'll have people that go, absolutely not, there's no way, it could never happen, it's the official story, and that's it. But then you have the other people that will believe anything you tell them. I mean, anything the government says, it's right, because the government put that official stamp on it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with the Kennedy assassination, there's so much of it. You know what I mean? And then now we're getting to the Robert Kennedy assassination, where there's stuff that's come like woodwork that they found later on, door jambs that were in the line of fire that had 8-9 bullet holes in them. Well, if he shot three times, why is there 10 bullet holes in these doors?
That will come to the second theory.
This is actually called. I can read that if you would like, because I'm just. Yeah, sure. I think that goes into how he got shot.
Right.
Because I was looking at to see if there was any other.
It does go into with the gun. So.
Yeah. Any other weapons involved? Apparently, Carl Ucker, if I'm saying his name right, was guiding Robert through the back exit, and apparently, if I'm reading this right, as they were about to leave, Sirhan Sirhan stepped down from a low tray stacker besides the ice machine. He rushed past Ucker and repeatedly fired an 8-shot 22 long rifle caliber first.
Holy shit.
So hold up, you trying to tell me that the multiple bullet holes? Because
yeah, that might explain the multiple bullet holes. I mean, I'm just reading what's stated.
Where's this from? This is from Wikipedia?
Yeah.
They're saying he shot a gun before he shot the handgun?
Yeah, they said there was several fires.
Well, how the fuck is he going to shoot two guns at the same time? You shoot one gun. You shoot a long rifle in a crowd. Now the crowd was basically... I
think, isn't that what scattered the crowd to begin with, those first shots?
No. the crowd. I remember watching this live actually, and subsequent over the years, he was basically he said that he was standing on I think on a box or something. Robert was, and he said, "Now on to Chicago," and like he went to step down, and it was bang bang, and then next thing you do, you see he's laying on the floor, and you see the blood outside his thing, and the first thing he said was, "Give me my rosary beads." Now, if that's the case, I've never heard where they shot a long gun before, and then so if he shot a long gun and then he took out,
Especially if it was live too. How did no
right?
one see that?
Exactly. So that I'm sorry. Somebody put that in there. I don't. There's no
Yeah,
credible evidence
that might
to
it be
support
because the
that.
only thing that seems to be common is the fact that they put it's a 22 caliber. And then
Yeah,
it
the
says
Iver
long
Johnson
rifle
22 caliber.
Yeah, then it says Cadet 55A revolver, which doesn't make sense to me. That's not a long rifle. That's literally a handgun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what brings me into the it's called the second gunman theory. So basically it's saying the location of Kennedy's wound suggested that his assailant had stood behind him because some witnesses assert that Sirhan faced west as Kennedy moved through the pantry facing east. This had led to the suggestion that there is a second gunman actually fired the fatal shot, a possibility supported by Chief Medical Examiner and Coroner of LA of the County of Los Angeles, Thomas Noguchi, who stated that the fatal shot was behind Kennedy's right ear and had been fired at a distance of approximately 1 inch. Other witnesses, though, said that Kennedy was turning to his left, shaking hands as Sirhan approached, facing north and exposing his right side.
So pretty much that theory is just saying that Sirhan was like a decoy, or the scapegoat.
Yeah, or a patsy or a scapegoat, just like wait for it, Lee Harvey Oswald. And to be honest with you, you know what? I wouldn't put anything past them to set this guy up. Now, did he fire a gun? Well, Rosie Greer took the gun out of his hand.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it could have been one of those that he had the motive and he had the intention of doing it, and it was probably one of those, he had a gun. This guy just got caught. Then again, think about it too. From in that time period, it's what, 68. Racial tensions are still high too. So you see, JFK's brother gets shot, and then on top of that, no, not to be fucking that guy, you see a brown guy in the fucking crowd somewhere around in the middle of racial tensions where shit is on point too. They gon' straight point the finger at you. At least that's how I would think that shit.
You have to look at it this way too. If which I don't see on this particular website. I don't know about any other websites, but I have not seen anything that they actually performed a paraffin test on Sirhan that day.
A what? Oh, a paraffin test.
A paraffin test is to determine if somebody shot a gun, because there's always residue, especially in the 60s, there's residue on the hands, on the chest. Like when we get to the Oswald case next week, you'll hear a lot more about the paraffin test and how fucked up that was. But if I don't see anything on these websites saying that they did a paraffin test on Sirhan that day,
then it would just further ask questions as to why they didn't do it if they just pinned that he did it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
There's so many now theories are mounting now. They're coming out every day. There's another theory about what's going on here. And nobody can basically, I mean, again, the government's going to come in and tell you, no, with Sirhan, he shot 2 bullets in, blah, 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 that's it. And, people are going, well, it's 1968. Why do you got to worry about it for? And maybe they're right. Maybe we should sit there maybe we should sit there and just accept what they say. But that's crazy. I don't want to accept that. I want to know what happened, so.
I think that's like that Budokai 3.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. You have to sit there and you have to wonder, because if it happens one day, it's going to happen another. Yeah, remember, if you don't remember your past, it's bound to happen again.
That's why history and science are my favorite subjects. Because with history, you can learn your past, and then with science, you can further advance your future.
Well, so that's again too. Now, you got another theory over there, Joey?
No, that's the only two theories I have right now.
Okay. Now, again, people were looking at that time to bury this. They wanted to say, "All right, this is it." So people. In other words, how many people on this panel right now want to get out of 2020 and leave
Oh,
it
hell
behind?
yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Hell yeah.
We wanted to
Hell
just leave
yeah.
it the fuck behind us. We wanted to just say, you know what, we got a cure for this shit. I want to go into ShopRite without a mask on. I want to go to a restaurant. I want to go to the boardwalk again. I want to do all these things that we all grew up doing.
I still want to maintain the social distancing though, but still.
Well, I mean, that's hey, you know what? Maybe
Fuck
that isn't a
people.
bad. Maybe it's not a bad thing. I mean,
Eric's gonna be the guy. Eric's gonna be the guy in a hazmat suit in the middle of fucking Arby's or something. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, I want to go. I want to go to New York City. I want to go do all that stuff, but I just want to get out of this fucking year alive, man. That's all.
I want to go to a freaking strip club, bro.
Okay.
So much
Sorry,
for
Robert.
Social distancing.
But yeah, so
I gotta
basically,
wear a mask. Come on, bro. Like, how sexy is that? She over here shaking her titties in my face with a mask. You like that? No, I don't.
We just went right off that hill. That
Yeah,
hill was right
so-
there. We were climbing
Can
that
we-
hill, and somehow we are in a valley. I don't know where that valley is, but Jesus Christ.
We've hit the bottom of the ocean on this podcast already, guys.
So
Can we talk about Sirhan Sirhan
Yes.
and maybe describe or like say what it is he is and stuff like that?
He says
Yeah,
that he
segue
got.
out of
He
this.
says that he
All
got.
right.
He says that
So-
he got traumatized from living out in
all right,
what is
so
it?
I'll read what
In
Sirhan Sirhan is
Palestine?
about then. So Sirhan Sirhan is
Yeah.
a Palestinian Arab with Jordanian citizenship, born in Jerusalem, who held strongly anti-Zionist beliefs.
Zionist.
Whatever.
Zionist.
Diary was found during a search of his home, and he wrote on May 19th, "My determination to eliminate RFK is becoming more and more of an unshakable obsession. RFK must die. RFK must be killed. Robert F. Kennedy must be assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy must be assassinated before June 5th, 1968."
And he wrote this, and he wrote all this down like this shit
In his
wasn't a
diary.
script.
Yeah.
That shit sounds like a fucking script, bro.
Yeah, it sounds
I've
a little
seen
bit too
better
planned.
dialogue and notes from Call of Duty games. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it does sound like somebody planted that or something to make it look like he was talking like that.
So it says when Sirhan Sirhan was booked by police, they found a newspaper article in his pocket that discussed Kennedy's support for Israel. Sirhan testified at his trial that he began to hate Kennedy after learning of this support. In 1989, he told David Frost in prison, "My only connection with Robert Kennedy was his sole support of Israel and his deliberate attempt to send those 50 bombers to Israel to obviously do harm to the Palestinians."
And he said this in an interview to David Frost.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe that was his position. Maybe. But did he leave those notes?
Again, who knows? Maybe he could have been like Bin Laden, CIA planted.
Exactly. You just don't know. See, you got to look at the big picture with any of this shit. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to another one, which we will cover in depth, the 9/11. Okay. Explain to me. See, they want you to believe what they tell you, and my mind works differently. Okay.
That's why we're all friends.
You had now basically a plane carrying Mohammed Atta, one of the lead terrorists. Okay. Now, this guy supposedly hit the towers, blew up, right? No trace of the plane, no trace of anything. One of the engines landed about, 4 city blocks away, whatever. But somehow his passport landed in pristine condition on a city sidewalk 10 blocks from where this happened.
It's like
Now, I don't know about you guys. God,
that's what that was.
He disappeared.
That's what that was.
exactly. I mean, maybe they should have made the fucking planes made out of this special paper that his passport was made out of. This is shit that they ask you to believe. You can't fucking believe that with a credible mind. And this is the bullshit that we keep getting fed over and over and over again. And getting back to Robert Kennedy, they're asking you, they quick stamp stuff. They tell you this is the way it is. You got to believe it. And then they get their minions on the news, the late night news, to agree with them. And they push the bullshit. You got that going on now.
Not only that, but it's just like they do it in a way where it's just like, okay, here's news, here's news, here's news, here's fear, some shocking truth right here, and then it just gets pushed away or like just to the side. And
I'll give you one I heard tonight.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No. Wait, hold on. I'm fixing my camera.
Technical difficulties, folks.
Motherfucker.
We're gonna have to change the name to this podcast. Technical difficulties.
This is like we interrupt this program. That's what's gonna have to come.
So basically, look, this
abbreviation.
This little tidbit right here says Sirhan was convicted of the murder of Robert F. Kennedy on April 17th, 1969. Thank you. And was sentenced 6 days later to death. In 1972, the sentence was commuted to life in prison with the possibility of parole after the California Supreme Court invalidated all pending death penalties that were imposed prior to 1972. Due to its ruling,
Charlie Manson escaped it.
Yeah, due to its ruling in California v. Anderson. Since that time, Sirhan has been denied parole 15 times and is currently confined in the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in southern San Diego County.
Oh, so he's still alive. I thought he just passed, but okay.
His lawyers, though, have claimed that he was framed, and he claims to have no memory of his crime.
Sounds interesting. I don't know how many.
That just sounds like something there. I like that. Who is lawyer?
I don't know. We have to find his lawyer.
Do we screw him and how? I mean, come on. Yeah, look, I don't know. I believe he was involved, but I also believe he was involved with somebody else. I think there was somebody else involved here.
Because I remember reading on Sirhan saying that like he joined some like occult thing.
Yeah.
So that might have been, he might have gotten secret support and funding through that or something. Who knows?
No, you see, again, they never bothered to go that far. All they know is he did it. That's it. And then the real killers, whoever did do it, if in fact he didn't do it, they've gotten away with it. And that's going to go back. You're going to see this same theme next week, and into our production meeting. You're going to see all of this shit. As far as what the Kennedy, this is this big compared to what you're going to see next week, and it's going to be huge. And if we get Judith Baker on here, oh my God! All I can tell you is you're going to sit there and you're going to go, "What the fuck have they been telling me for years and years and years?" Because Judith was. I'm
going to have to look behind my back from now on forever.
Well, Judith was Lee Harvey Oswald's basically her boyfriend. Her girlfriend.
He's gonna have.
Okay, and she can dispute stuff, and she's got fact. She's not a bullshit artist.
Fact.
So, but she's the one that they want to silence her. So you're going to see this thing play out over and over and over again, especially whenever it comes to anything that the government tells you. Whenever the government tells you something, look the other way.
Guys, they want to silence her, and we're gonna have her on our show. Guess what? We're all gonna be audited by the U.S. government.
Bring it on.
Don't tell me that, bro.
Can I Zoom call that day?
See Josh show up with mustache, fake hair on his head. I'm not really Josh Rivera. I'm Bob. I can see it now.
Yeah.
I'm Bob Roker. Please ignore me.
He's
I'm
not the
Alex
roadblock.
Trebek.
He's not the roadblock.
And this is Jeopardy.
He's the Watergate at this point.
Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I'm white.
He's white.
I'm white.
Look, we all know the past of the Kennedys, and how fucked up. Shut up. And how fucked up the Kennedy curse is. He's done.
Way to go, Eric. You killed Joe.
Fucking Eric is sick. You're a sick, demented young man.
I like I don't know, for the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. There's a lot of just I don't know for the Kennedys in general. I
Get it
don't
out.
want.
Use
I
your words,
don't
yo.
ever want to be a Kennedy.
Well, the Kennedys caused a lot of problems too. I mean, this is coming from a guy who my favorite president of all time will be John Kennedy. And I think he was a man of many. He was a very, very a good man, an honest man. But there's a lot of
Was he? Would you
baggage
say he
that
was?
came with
Would you
it.
say he was a progressive? Would you say he was a progressive?
I would say he was. Yeah, at that time he would be a progressive because what he wanted to do basically was he wanted, you know, to hold everybody accountable. You got to do things. Don't ask what we can do for you. Ask what you can help the government do to get the government stronger, to get the government to be better for the people. That's what he wanted. He didn't want to spend money in endless wars. He didn't want to give our money away to foreign countries. And you can't find that in another president. He definitely didn't want to go to Vietnam. He pissed off the people that did want to go to Vietnam. His own vice president was on his way to fucking jail, and he wasn't going to be on the 64 ticket. There was no way. Johnson was basically on his
Oh,
way out, and he was
question.
going to replace. Yeah.
Wow.
Was how far apart was the time difference between between both Kennedys when they got killed?
Well, John was 61, 63,
63 and 68.
and 68. So 5 years.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
Wait,
like
I thought JFK
Wait,
got
who
shot in
was killed
68.
first?
No.
JFK was shot first.
JFK was shot first in 63. He was killed November
okay.
22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. And then Robert Kennedy was killed June
6th, 1968.
June 5th, 1968.
Okay, no, yeah, because I think in a previous episode, I think or someone might have fucked up because they mentioned that that JFK got shot in 68, and that's why I thought there's Martin Luther King and
Yeah, Martin, like Dad was saying before, Martin, that whole 1968 was just a fucked up year, and I think one episode I think we should do it either January or December, whatever. I think we should cover the events of the year 1968 and just do pinpoint by pinpoint the major events of 1968.
Oh yeah, it would be really, really interesting, and everybody could pick a different topic. Like someone would pick the RFK, some people would take MLK, some people could take Malcolm X. You could take the Watts riots. There's so much, and you didn't know from There's a scene in JFK where Kevin Costner is staring. He's making a sandwich, and he hears like a little rumbling, and he goes in the other room, and he's literally watching RFK put his peace sign up, and the words were very clear, on to Chicago. That's what he did, and he was shot, and that was a microcosm of that year because you just didn't know what was around every corner.
Wasn't Kevin Costner's words there? They fucking killed him, or they fucking did it, or some shit like that.
They shot him. They shot Bobby. They killed Bobby tonight, and then his wife said, "My God, they're going to kill us all," because basically no one knew. No one knew. Everybody knew that the country was in an upheaval. They didn't want Johnson in there anymore, and here comes Nixon, which nobody wanted Nixon. So there was
I'm not a crook.
Nobody now, regardless on how you feel about the candidates now, you might get some people who don't like either one and go, look, you know what? I don't like what Trump supposedly did, and I'm definitely don't like what Biden did, and you feel like you're lost, and there's nobody that's going to help you. There's nobody that you can look to for leadership, and you can pick whatever side of the aisle you're on. And right now, I feel that way sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm devastated that he didn't win, but I don't feel, sometimes some of the things that get done, whether through him and now with Biden, scares me. So I'm very, very upset that, Washington is so fucking polarized and fucked up, but that's what you got now. That's what you got. That's what you had then. But then, you had the killing of the 4 kids in Kent State. They were protesting of the Vietnam War, I'm sorry. And they got killed, and they were killed with, I believe, I don't know if they were killed with regular ammunition or rubber bullets. I'm not really sure, But you know, it's like that's what's going on now. So it's kind of like history repeating itself all over again. You know, you take out the COVID, and you got 1968 all over
COVID.
again. You know, and it's a fucked up time, and it really is. 1968 was a horrible year in our country. You just didn't know what's going to be next. You know, so I mean that's all I got to say.
Well, yeah, I think that's the big issue for 68 compared to now is one, you know, like I think it was Anthony who said this, that we're going through 100 years worth of history in just 1 year. I think that's what we're
10 years,
going
10
through.
years. 10 years worth of history in 1 year.
Yeah.
It's
So
scary. It really is. It just you know, look, I'm 60 years old, so you know, tomorrow I get off this chair and I croak. I lived 60 years. You guys
Oh,
are 25 years old. You know,
Josh is not 25 years old.
Josh is, you know,
You
30 years
don't
old.
have to fucking
You know,
remind me.
these are like these are years, guys, that you're gonna, you know, these are
To
supposed to be
look
the
back
really
on.
happy years. You're
Yeah, I
forming
mean, like,
your life. You're going
Hell
forward.
yeah. Hell
You know?
yeah, it's happy years. We done took a photo of someone's poop today or yesterday.
what?
Now we're not only over the cliff and in the valley, we just got swept away by a fucking tidal wave.
Yeah.
All
So
There's a
courtesy.
current taking us all the way to Africa, thanks to Eric.
so basically,
Roblox, show me your titty. You look like you about to show me your titty. Show me your titty, Roblox.
No, not. Please
Come on, I
stop.
showed y'all mine. Come on.
Yeah, but
All
we're
right.
on air. Stop it.
all right. So next week's episode, we're going to do, I believe it's a live episode, right? That's the 22nd.
Yeah, we're gonna be on live everywhere. I mean, you know, the people are gonna, you know, hopefully.
And
Yeah,
we're actually
call
going
in
to
or
have
whatever.
the cameras next week. I'm ordering the cameras tomorrow. We're gonna have the live video set up and ready all throughout fucking everything for next week.
Great. These four faces live. It's gonna be great. You know,
Hey,
and again, guys, next week if we could get, I'm gonna email her again tonight. If Judith will come on next week, even for a half an hour.
we all come in with disguises next week.
Right. I want you guys.
Fuck that. What you mean, bro? I'm coming in with a whole new IPN, all that, all of it.
Going off the grid.
Secret-
I'm burning my
Secret
fingerprints.
locate. I'm bouncing.
He is
I'm bouncing my freaking signal all the time. Like
Eric's now known as James Smith.
you can't say that. I have to change it now. Now they know.
Sorry, James. My bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
so hopefully we
I'll
get
let you-
our
I'll let you know
first
the
big
new name
guest.
tomorrow.
You know what the good thing about having her on next week, hopefully that we do get her on, is that it opens us up to her audience and the people who find her. Because because with her book, there's gonna be a lot of people.
CIA and all.
Woo! CIA!
That's my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You know how much of a flex it would be just to tell people, it's like, so what you been up to for this year? Well, just regular shit. My hand got impaled by a fence. Started a podcast, and now I'm being looked at by the CIA because we talked about some shit
That we shouldn't have talked about.
that we shouldn't have talked about.
Yeah.
How's your year? How's your year going
You're a
so
true.
far, bro?
You're
You're
a true warrior. You're a true warrior. Don't ever don't. Again, you know my motto. Don't ever listen to anything anybody tells you, especially me. If you hear it from me, don't listen to me. Go do your own homework. Do your own research. If you do your own research, you can come up to your own conclusions. Because what I believe in doesn't mean you're going to believe in it.
No, yeah, everybody's truth.
Even though I'm right.
Truth is different.
Exactly.
Speaking of research, can we talk really, really quickly about the length of the gun's life right now?
Of the
Huh?
length
What do you
of the
mean?
what?
What you mean? Like it was like the
The
production
length
year?
of the gun. Okay, no, I'm gonna try and read this as quickly because I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Of RFK, you mean?
Of the gun.
Okay,
That allegedly is so.
Which gun?
The
22.
the one that they're actually saying is the assassin's gun. I'll read it really fast. The Ivor Johnson 22 caliber revolver that Sirhan Sirhan used. And I'm gonna try and read this because this thing goes through everywhere. It was originally owned by a Albert Leslie Hertz, a resident of Alhambra, just south of Pasadena, California. He originally bought the gun to protect his business during
That name sounds
1965
very
Watts
familiar.
riots.
The mustard and mayonnaise guy.
No,
Oh, I don't know, but no, what? No,
that's
Albert
Heinz.
Leslie Hertz.
Hertz. No,
He bought the gun.
Not that one.
No, it's
Oh.
probably not.
Okay.
He bought the gun to protect his
Go
business
back to the
during
toilet, Eric.
1965. Yeah, I know, right? 1965 Watts riots, but he never used it, so he kept it in its original box sealed. Hertz's wife decided the gun was too dangerous and gave it to her daughter, Dana Westlake.
Yeah, that
Westlake
sounds so
did-
logical as a mom.
I know, but think about
as a
this.
mom, that
It
sounds-
goes,
This gun
yeah,
is
but
too
think of this.
dangerous
That's
in this
just
house. Let me give it to my daughter.
yeah, but
The
think about this. That's 3 people already. That went from husband to wife to daughter. Westlake did not use it and gave the gun to her next door neighbor, George Erhard. And then Erhard later sold the gun to Sirhan Sirhan's brother. So that gun literally went through at least 6 different people.
Wow. Holy
Now I have a
shit.
question. Do you
shows
want to be the
hands.
person that's that the husband or the wife that gave the gun to the daughter, and then the daughter gave it to the neighbor sold it to his brother? You're sitting there like, fuck, he used that gun?
Yeah,
the neighbor.
that gun. That's
The
what I
neighbor-
just
the
read
neighbor-
because I was
the
double
neighbor-
checking
the
the standards.
The
of
neighbor
gun.
was the CIA agent that found Sirhan Sirhan.
Oh, okay, Mr.
Allegedly,
Theory
allegedly.
himself. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't know. I'm just coming up with bullshit. I swear to God, if that's actually true, I'm like, oh fuck, bro, that's crazy.
It's just like with any Clinton theory. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm trying to make it home.
So
Yeah.
the gun laws back then in 1965 must have been really, really lax.
What laws?
If it went through
Seriously,
like
in
6
California?
people. Yeah, back then, holy crap!
Dude,
Like
it's
I
like a
don't know
coin.
the laws. Yeah, you just flip a coin. That's what it is at that point. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right, Josh? Josh gets the points for tonight for research. I love it. That's very good. I enjoyed
But
that.
Eric should get points for questions.
Yes, you should.
Yes, Eric
See,
does. Eric does.
And my
Although,
poop story.
although, real quick, just one little thing to add to it: the pistol apparently cost Sirhan Sirhan and his brother together $25.
Wow.
One guy paid 19, and Sirhan put the $6 in.
What a bargain.
$25.
You know
One guy
what I can.
pushes 19, and
You
the
know,
guy who
you know,
used
you
the
know,
gun
I can
only paid
get
6.
I can get like detergent for that price. You telling me
Where
that
the
this
hell are
man
you going to get
bought-
detergent
this-
for
this
25
man
bucks?
bought a whole
He wants to kill somebody
revolver
with a
for the
Tide
price
Pod.
of
Hey,
Bruh.
fuck you. 2020, that did happen, all right? People were dying for Tide Pods, all right? So shut the fuck up, Dad.
I thought that was
Dude,
like
first of
3
all,
years ago.
That shouldn't have happened. to
No,
begin
that
with.
was the beginning of 2020.
Yeah,
What
that
the
was.
one
Really?
Republican, one of the Republican senators or whatever said, you know what, we should have let these fucking kids eat Tide Pods this year. They wouldn't have voted. They wouldn't have voted, but you know what? It is
Yeah.
what it is. Oh,
So-
God.
Yeah, so next week is our JFK special episode. And then
Live.
yes, our live JFK special episode. And then we're going to go straight into Thanksgiving with our Thanksgiving video on Thanksgiving that we are in in the midst of filming right now. Yeah, so this week I think we, regardless of all the outrageous shit that has happened to us this week, thank God everyone is okay. Thank God everyone's safe. And, obviously we all can't be in the same room, but, we're all here. We're all still doing this fucking podcast because we love to be
My
here.
spirit is behind you, Joey.
Thank you.
I personally thank Hades for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Oh my God.
And this motherfucker lives alone too, and he's got to worry about that shitty man. Just when you turn off them lights, you got to really watch what's going on, Josh. There's shadows on the wall and stuff.
He
Hey,
got
Joe,
the power of God and
hey,
anime
Joe.
on his side. He good.
I got a secret for you. I don't sleep. I wait.
He's like, I wait for you. It's just like like you hear the spirit open the front door. It's just and he just flicked the light on. Like I knew you was I knew your bitch ass was gonna come. I was waiting for you at the door.
Well, gentlemen, I think this turned out to be a good episode. And this will be
Always a
on
great
YouTube.
episode.
This will be on YouTube
Alright.
just the way it is right now. We're gonna be doing the video for this one too.
Not
So
ingrown hair, guys. Not ingrown.
What the
God
hell?
damn it. Thank you
It's my
guys for being
It's
here.
my ingrown hair.
I will definitely see you guys next week. Hopefully roll back into the booth with each other
Both.
next week.
In the
It's
booth.
gotta
I
be-
want
I
to be
want
in the
this-
booth.
Yeah, I want this live next week in the booth. Everybody here,
The
just
booth,
like
in the
normal.
booth.
I want to get past this fucking
Definitely.
week.
We'll take
So,
care of it.
Just, yeah,
Yeah.
do what you got to do, and we'll all, just as long as we're all safe, we're all happy. We got holidays coming up. We got good stuff coming up, and I wanted to with you guys. I really love doing this podcast with you, and please stay safe.
I love all of you.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
So
night,
good night,
fellas.
everybody.